Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button.
I'm a Lakers fan when LeBron
Window
leaves.
shopper. Use a window
I'm a
shopper.
LeBron fan when the Lakers leave. When he leave the Lakers.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. This is the marvelous one with Don and Philosophical back at it again. What's good, fellas? We
What's
back
going
at
on?
this, man.
Man,
You all right, Don?
I
You know
ain't
what?
good.
You know what?
You
We're
know
gonna
I
have to
ain't
start
good.
recording the pre-show. You know what I mean? All the arguments and stuff that goes on before we start recording. You know what? You know what? It might not be good for our listeners because it's gonna sound like a big jumble mess, but it might be a good idea to let them listen to us argue.
Yeah. Well, I ain't
Yeah.
arguing. I'm just stating facts.
You know this is a voice of
Oh
reason,
man,
right?
that wasn't very reasonable.
No, not at all. I
Facts.
mean, so I mean, we might as well talk about what we've been arguing about, and we'll let our resident Ravens fan tell us about the whole Lamar thing that's going on, the drama. We'll
Yeah.
let you speak.
Yeah.
I'm not
First of
going
all,
to interrupt.
first of all, let's go ahead and get it straight. I'm not a fan. I'm a part owner. I bleed Baltimore to, I bleed purple and gold, man. So let's go ahead and put that out
He's a
there.
minority owner.
Hey, facts. Facts. Be more's finest.
Mm,
Yeah.
So looking at the situation and how it's developing, and Lamar's tweet has kind of brought a couple of things to light. Talking about how he requested a trade on the second. That was very daunting because I don't think that a lot of owners had that privileged information. I think that a lot of that stuff was in the dark, as well as uh, the way that he wrote the letter. It actually seemed like a farewell letter to the fans
mhm.
and letting everybody know that I'm digging in the trenches in Baltimore. If you do not find me a deal, there's a great chance that I might sit out this year. And now I think that some of the owners are saying, well, maybe I need to make a phone call and find out with the Ravens, not so much as Lamar, because everybody's talking about Lamar needs to get needs to get an agent. But I think it's bigger than just that because he's fighting the power. He's fighting the big machine. The big machines are the owners. So, but the owners are not going to cross each other and do bad business. And this is just me being 100%, without talking anything about collusion or anything. This is one businessman talking to a businessman saying, listen here, if I give Lamar an offer, are you gonna counter it? Because if you're gonna counter it, I'm not gonna waste my time. And I think that's where we lie right now. And then we got to find out that is there an owner out there that says, you know what, I'm a billionaire and I got to this point by not asking for permission, but asking for forgiveness. And when we find that individual, then we find out what the team tomorrow is going to. But I think that's where we stand status quo. A lot of people are thinking that, different scenarios. The Colts have come up, as uh, uh, a potential team that could probably need the service. And he actually came out and said, we are evaluating every uh, every circumstance, and Lamar is on that list. Also, we got to look at the draft is coming up. So if someone wants to put Lamar, in that seat, that driver's seat, then they need to do that before the draft because after the draft, I think it gets real dicey. And here's the dicey part: there's not going to be a good deal that involves the Ravens saying I can move forward
Yeah,
and understanding that he can
right.
possibly sit out for the year.
Yeah. Look, like I told you before, the Ravens want another team to do their dirty work because any offer that he gets, the Ravens are going to match it. But they don't want to give him a fully guaranteed contract. And if nobody offers him a fully guaranteed contract, they have no reason to match.
So here's where I think it could probably get done, and here's where the Ravens can save good faith. The only deal out there available in my eyes, the way that you could get right is to shorten the deal, 100% guaranteed. So it could be a 3-year deal, but within the 3-year deal, it's all guaranteed. And also, we're looking at no trade clauses,
Yeah.
Involved
I,
in that. And I think that's a win
yeah.
for Lamar and the organization. But
I
I don't even think that the Ravens are looking
but,
at that because the Ravens want to put the fake the 4th-year option, no
right.
option, no optional years.
But Don,
Once we do our business, we gone. Yeah, I
yeah, no,
pause.
I think that's where it's going to end up. I think that's where it's going to end up. But right now, and we've had this argument already. I think what's complicating this is the fact that Lamar doesn't have an agent, and the fact that the NFL had to put out a
Disagree.
letter to the teams telling them, do not talk to these uncertified agents, these business managers of Lamar. Do not talk to them. They had to put out a letter. That's telling you, read the tea leaves. That's telling you what's happening right now in the NFL and how Lamar has to have his business partners reach out to teams to try to push this deal along. That's what do you think, Phil?
I I truly feel like, kind of a little bit of a reminder what we spoke about before going on air is that, these these owners aren't real happy with some of the image Lamar is taking right now, the stance he's taking. It's almost like the organization has said, we've catered the offense around you, so kind of do this for us. We scratch our back, you scratch yours, right? So the thing is this is the thing, right? They kept Harbaugh. They got a new offensive coordinator for Lamar. They've kind of said, we're going to cater the wide receivers, draft some wide receivers. We're going to fix the defense. They've already done that. They haven't gotten the wide receivers. And I understand that part, right? Baltimore hasn't had the history of drafting good receivers, and that's fine, right? But this is the thing. The whole Deshaun Watson contract was an accident contract, right? And what people fail to understand and realize is that when the Browns gave Deshaun Watson that contract, the other owners were upset about that contract.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically
and
that's fine. That's fine. They had the right to sign up to that contract, right? But again, the other owners are now trying to reset that market, right? They kind of did it with Russell Wilson. They kind of try to reset it with Kyler Murray.
Yep.
They're trying to reset it back for Aaron Rodgers, right? To kind of slightly raise it a little bit, but to kind of give a shorter deal. So now you have.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Phil.
So one thing that you said was absolutely 100% wrong is that you said that no, because he said that like the Ravens going to draft receivers. The Ravens don't draft receivers.
Well, they're going to try this time.
They're gonna try to draft. They're gonna try. They don't have a choice but to draft receivers now. If you give Lamar all that money and guaranteed contract, who are you going to keep?
And the other thing that you said was that the owners are upset with Lamar. No, the owners are not upset with Lamar.
No, I said owners upset with Deshaun Watson.
But hang on, I don't want to pull that thread a little bit with Deshaun Watson. And here's my point about having an agent. The fact that Deshaun Watson got 20 women charging him for crime, right? He's shown to be not a good citizen. Okay, even though there's no criminal charges or anything like that, let's make sure there was alleged charges, but it gives you pause. And he still had 5 teams interested in him, willing to make an offer to him and make a trade with the Texans. And the Browns swooped in at the last minute and beat out the Saints, Falcons, and I forget it was the Panthers, I think, the other team that was pursuing him. And
why?
Think about what
and the Dolphins.
So that agent worked all of those teams. He worked whoever that agent, him or her, worked those teams and told the Browns, "Hey, the Saints are offering this deal."
And I'll even piggyback off of that. While the agent was working those teams, Deshaun Watson was out there apologizing.
Yep.
Was out there
had his letter written up.
Letter written up. TV appearances.
PR.
Just saying, hey, PR, yeah, and that's the thing that because why his agent told him, hey, you got to clean up your image.
Yep.
You got to clean up.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
we gonna act like that Cleveland owner said, "I want him, go get him." That's the part that you're ignoring. When a billionaire says, "I want him, go get him," I
but the
don't care what it
billionaire is
costs.
not talking to Sean Watson.
Hold on. Did the Browns billionaire owner say that? Because
No.
it's on record.
Listen.
It's on record that
Listen.
he did. So you say that he did say that?
Listen.
You say that he did say that?
But wait a minute. This is the difference. He did say that, but
Thank you, Phil.
He's not communicating with Deshaun Watson. He's
Listen,
communicating with Deshaun
guys.
Watson's agent.
Listen.
Doesn't matter. A billionaire said, I want to get him. So he said the purse is open.
Listen to me, Don. The Browns were not involved at first. Do y'all understand that?
No, at the end, the Browns. At the end,
how did the Browns get involved at the end? Did the owner just come out of nowhere?
Because a billionaire said, I want him.
No, the billionaire was convinced. Somebody convinced him. You should go after this dude. Baker Mayfield is not your guy. Somebody convinced him because he wasn't involved at first. It was the Saints and the Falcons. The Falcons got rid of
the agent
Matt
probably
Ryan.
came in there and said, "Hey, we got 4 deals
You
on the table.
Because there's nothing
you
on
got 4
record saying
deals
that
on
the
the table.
Talk to the owner.
Yes.
There's nothing. You're doing a lot of assuming.
No, Don.
Listen. You're doing a lot of assuming. You're doing a lot of assuming. The only thing that's on record is that the Browns. No, don't be no tea leaves. Let's talk about this voice of reason. So let's talk about what we know. And we know one thing is that the owner said, "I want him. Go get him." And the owner is a billionaire.
But the agent came into the owner and said, "Hey, we got 4 deals on the table."
Exactly. The agent makes them compete against each other, and he gets the best deal for his player. Because Deshaun Watson was not going to get a fully guaranteed deal until the Browns had to come in, swoop in, and had to give him fully guaranteed deal to get him in Cleveland because he was going to Atlanta. The Falcons had already deal in play.
Yeah.
The Falcons had already restructured Matt Ryan's contract. They were prepared to get rid of Matt Ryan and bring him in, and they got screwed over when the Browns swooped in.
Yep.
And that's what happened. And that's where your agent is important. Now, right now, this dude got Meek Mills talking to the Patriots owner. He got somebody else calling the Falcons, and then the NFL.
What's the difference between Meek Mills and ESPN and everything else being leaked? There's no difference between.
There is a big difference.
No, it's not. Information leaked is just what it is. It's information leaked.
Regardless,
it doesn't matter what the conduit is.
You're not listening. The NFL just put out a letter saying you cannot talk to these people. You have to talk directly with Lamar because these people aren't licensed agents.
And now, if you Lamar, they're talking to
listen,
ESPN analysts.
And they said
talking backdoor to figure out.
Hear me out. Just hear me out. They said in this letter, if you work out a deal, if you're outside of that union of agents, if you're outside of it, you work this deal, that deal will be disapproved by the NFL. They said that.
And I just want to hold on. I'll let you finish. I just want to add something to that. I know what you're getting ready to say as far as players representing themselves. The reason why they represent themselves is because they are licensed agents. The players go out and get certifications to be a licensed.
You got to be licensed, dude.
They are a licensed agent, and it's in the manuscript in the NFL that players that represent themselves are licensed agents. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing that we're not addressing, and just let me educate. No, seriously, I'm gonna educate y'all.
All right, go ahead, educate us, and then we moving on to Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, yeah, because here's the thing that you're not addressing. You're not addressing that owners like to go. The owners like to have what you call inside information. Lamar Camp is not giving out inside information, so the owners don't have a real pulse about what's going on in Lamar. And guess who else is not talking? The Ravens camp is not talking either. So this is unusual because normally different owners would have that information available because you would have ESPN. Well, I heard from Lamar's camp that this and this and this. Because guess who would leak that?
So who was the Ravens proposing didn't the Ravens give a contract offer to Lamar?
Yes.
Who did they give it to?
Lamar.
If it wasn't to Lamar, exactly. So they have a pulse of what Lamar wants and because Lamar is telling them.
That's fine. let's talk about Aaron Rodgers because we're gonna go around the circle on Lamar and we're gonna go around
So
the circle on Lamar.
I'll lead off with Aaron. So right now I think Aaron is in a different spot right now, and I think he's playing a dangerous game because if he's got to convince the Green Bay to take and not be so greedy, because I think the Jets want to. Everybody wants each other. The Jets want Aaron wants the Jets, and I
Yep.
think that Green Bay is trying to say, well, if you want him so much, why are you not willing to pay for him? And I think that right there is getting dicey to the point, and I hate to say it, but if you're asking for more than what I would have to pay for Lamar, then now you have that side conversation that's saying, what is the difference between getting a 1 year, a 1 year person, whereas though I can get a multi-year person?
Well, there's a difference. The difference is Aaron Rodgers has 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl ring. So Aaron Rodgers' pay scale is a little higher than Lamar. That's just facts. Second of all,
Year
you know,
to year. Finish your thought. Year to year.
second, and he has more playoff wins. Second of all, the issue is here
And
is that
MVPs.
Aaron, yeah, and MVPs and Super Bowl MVPs and Pro Bowl appearances. So so the difference with this is that Aaron Rodgers has a negative image of him because he's shown within I'll even say the last 5 years when he held him leverage as far as getting that big contract. He's held him leverage as far as like going to OTAs, now working with other players, just showing up to camp, doing what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and then holding them hostage to get as much money as he wants. Right. So Green Bay is basically saying, I kind of see what's going to happen here. They're like, hey, we'll trade you after the draft. We're not giving up any draft. We're not giving up any draft picks. We'll give up next year's picks. When the leverage is down, right? Because they know that.
No,
they know
they're not. Listen, they're not.
The Jets are desperate right now.
Green Bay doesn't have to give up draft picks. It's the
It's
Jets
the Jets
that have
got
to.
to drop up.
So get your story right. Continue.
Correct. Well, yeah. Okay. Correct. Go ahead, Marvin.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, look, we know the Jets and the Packers are working on compensation right now. They're doing it.
Yeah.
They're working on it right now. We know the Packers don't want Aaron Rodgers anymore. They are ready to move on. It's going to be the Jordan Love show. Period. Aaron Rodgers is on his way out. The Packers are asking for a little bit more that the Jets are willing to pay. They're going to work out a deal. It's happening, guys. It's a done deal in my.
And you notice it's very quiet.
It's very quiet.
It's very
point,
quiet.
Phil.
It's very quiet. I mean, they're just probably behind the scenes. It's very cordial, very quiet. Even though I think Aaron Rodgers is sitting back smirking somewhere, like I'm not, but it's very quiet. Everything is shifted over to Lamar right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And when tell you what, listen, I'm glad you said it because seriously. Here's the wild card. How do the Jets talk to Lamar without pissing off Aaron? Go.
They're not even talking to Lamar. They don't want Lamar. It is all Aaron Rodgers. They have made it clear. They're making.
Hey, I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna say what I gotta say out loud to keep Aaron happy. But if I know that I can get Lamar and get guaranteed years, because when I get Aaron, I don't get guaranteed years.
Well, how do you know the Ravens aren't talking to the Packers about Aaron Rodgers?
They're not talking about Aaron Rodgers, no.
You never know.
Phil, once again.
You never know, right?
Phil made a good point. If somehow
the Jets go,
the Jets are making a play on Lamar Jackson when there's no clear evidence that they are. They have made it clear they want Aaron Rodgers. Well, if that's the case, maybe the Ravens are looking at Aaron Rodgers, where there's no clear evidence saying that they're looking at him.
I'm not saying. Listen, I didn't say that the Jets are making a full play. Understand what I just said. Once again, don't put words in my mouth. I said logically, if I have to pay 2 draft picks for Aaron for years that I don't have guaranteed, then logically, why wouldn't I go for Lamar? And that conversation is not happening amongst the GMs, but it's the fan base. Yes, it's happening.
Here's the problem. Yes, logically that makes sense, but the Jets have already told us what their plans are and what they're doing. They want Aaron Rodgers. They're gonna make Zach Wilson sit behind him and learn from him. They've
Yep.
already made it clear. Lamar Jackson is not in their plans. There's nothing to even discuss there. Is Aaron Rodgers or bust for the Jets? They've made it clear. The Packers have already made it clear. They're willing to trade him, but they got to work out compensation. And behind the scenes, you got agents, lawyers, whatever, working out this deal. It's real
But
quiet.
Marv, here's the thing.
You don't
Here's the
have
deal.
you don't have Aaron Rodgers on social media on Twitter saying, you know,
He's on the McAfee show. Go.
well, he's on the McAfee show where he said his
Well, that
intent
was
is to play for the
PR.
Jets, and that was
Yeah,
it.
that was PR. That was
And-
PR.
And once that happened, that was it.
Yeah.
We didn't hear from him
Yep.
no more.
Yep. And you heard from the Packers and you ain't heard from the Jets.
They're
And once
working on the
again,
deal.
Lamar's going to silence. He did the same
I actually
thing.
think
Phil, I'm gonna make this one point. The point is that we're talking about what's logical, what's illogical, and I'm gonna tell you that if they go past the draft, then all bets are off for everything, for Aaron Rodgers and for Lamar. So the draft, to me, the draft is the sticking point for all deals moving forward right now. Will we agree on that?
But not for the
because
Jets.
if they do it after the draft,
The Jets don't have any leverage. The
But
Jets
this
don't
is
have
the
any
thing.
draft picks to give them.
This is the thing. If the Packers wait after the draft, this is probably what it is. If the Packers wait after the draft, they can go to the Jets and say, "Hey, you're desperate. Pay some of Aaron's salary." You know what I mean?
They're already going.
well-
Listen, they're already going to pay Aaron's salary, but they want to get draft picks. That's what the Packers want. Packers say, listen, the Jets have the compensation to escrow to actually do the Aaron contract. That's not the deciding point. The deciding point is that Green Bay is asking for too much in draft compensation. That's the part that you got to get right, Phil. So if they don't do this deal within the draft, whether it's going to be Lamar getting whatever or whoever, this is the sticking point. The draft is like the tell all for everything.
But that's why they're working on. That's what's coming out. They're
been
working on
quiet.
compensation.
It's really quiet right
It's
now.
happening right now. I think
It's
this deal
quiet.
happens before the draft,
Or unless they have something on the table and
Yeah.
they're just waiting for the draft to come
it's going to happen.
to
Dude.
announce it.
So just relax. It's going to happen. But while we're on the subject about quarterbacks, we might as well continue discussing this. I'm hearing out of San Francisco, there's going to be a quarterback competition.
Oh, I believe it. You got a quarterback 7th-round draft pick that you'll have to pay, take you to the NFC Championship game, and then you got
That was the competition.
Whoa. There's one dude that's involved in this competition that you
Trey
didn't even
Lance.
think of. No.
Sam
Darnold.
Sam Darnold. That's just
Sam
come on. Now.
Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Kyle
he's not
Shanahan
winning.
said that Sam Darnold is going to be a part of the quarterback competition. He has a chance to be the starter. Because one, Brock Purdy,
It's still hurt.
It's still hurt. He's not
Yeah,
even
it's still
healthy.
hurt. It's still hurt.
Yeah. So
And I tell you right now, if Sam Darnold comes out of nowhere and wins this starting position, oh boy, Trey Lance. That spells a lot about Trey
that
Lance.
says a lot about Trey Lance.
But isn't Trey Lance still hurt?
But this says nothing about Brock. Because when Brock gets healthy, it's over. He's coming back and he's sitting in the driver's seat, being that he gets enough reps in.
I think they may have made a mistake on drafting Trey Lance. They may be saying, Trey Lance is a bust. He's not playing well. He's not up to speed.
He did not look good.
He may be on the trade block really soon. They may be giving
but
up
I
on him.
want if it's me, I want that young guy to win, because if he does not win, I lose trade value.
Which young guy?
I think he talking about Trey Lance.
Trey Lance? He ain't playing no games.
Listen. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm gonna bust my backside to make sure that guy wins. And guess what? Want to tell you why I want him to win? You have to, because guess what?
Why?
If you have two starting quarterbacks, you have none.
Exactly. That's why we trade Lance and get what I can from him.
But how can you trade?
Brock Purdy didn't cost me anything.
But how can you trade somebody that has no trade value?
Because I don't care. Because I want to win.
You do care about trade value.
No, I don't.
You're worse than Joey the GM. You're worse than Joey the GM.
If I find my starting quarterback, just like the Seahawks did when they found Russell Wilson, and they had I forget the kid's name that came from Green Bay. He was an LSU quarterback. They paid him a boatload of money, and Russell Wilson was the better quarterback.
What round did Lance go in?
First round,
he was
third
third
pick.
overall pick.
Then guess what? I gotta get something for him. I can't go that as a listen. As a GM, you get fired for that.
No, you don't.
Nah, they went
No,
to the
you
NFC
don't.
Championship game last
No,
year.
you
Hey, the
as a
GM ain't going
GM,
nowhere.
as a GM, when you turned your 7th round pick into a starting quarterback,
Yep.
oh, you getting a raise.
Yep.
You find the next
Yep.
Tom Brady,
You
you
got
getting a
lucky.
raise.
And
You got
Sam
lucky.
Darnold and Sam, you got to remember they're not asking the quarterback to do much.
No,
So
they're
Sam
not.
Darnold can come in there and game manage, and then Sam Darnold can go somewhere else and get a bigger contract.
Don't fool yourself. Because who else had Sam Donald? He didn't do
Everybody,
nothing.
Eh,
Thank you.
I mean,
everybody.
Thank
But
you.
look,
but still, when you're in the Shanahan system,
well, I mean,
Sometimes the
for some
system
reason,
can't save you if you're a bad quarterback.
they like this dude. So that's what I'm hearing out of San Francisco. That
Yep.
seems odd to me, but we'll see how that turns
and then
out.
did you hear the trade talks? They were talking about how they've been talking to Tennessee.
Who?
Did you?
The 49ers?
Yeah, the Trey Lance. This
Oh,
was
really?
this was maybe about
But Tennessee is a quarterback needy team.
yeah, they got some teams
And
that are
yes.
willing to trade for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
That's not
No,
front.
they're not willing to trade for Trey Lance. They ready to give they ready to give up 2 draft picks for Lamar. Y'all
Oh,
gonna stop
Jesus
disrespecting
Christ.
Lamar. Stop
But
doing it. Stop doing it in my presence. You can
that's
do it. You can
know
do it
what?
in your side telephone conversations, but don't do it in my presence.
That's enough about NFL quarterbacks because we can't have a discussion about NFL quarterbacks without you
I just
bringing in
want to.
Lamar.
I'll say this last thing about Lamar, right? And this will be my last point.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
think this might turn into what the Commanders did with Kirk Cousins, franchise tag him twice, and then
Well, that's what I've been telling you
He's
all the
not going.
time.
yeah.
It
I
won't
don't care
get
if
to
he's
that point.
signing.
It won't get to this point. Want to
He
tell you
ain't
why?
got to sign.
He's
Oh,
not
that's
going
true.
to. He's
That's
not
true.
going to.
So
That's true.
And he's
the,
going
the,
to sit
the
out. And guess
Ravens
what?
the Ravens hold his rights. So that's all that matters. They hold the
Yeah,
leverage. So
that's true.
It's not no leverage. It's not no leverage. He
anyway,
lost it.
let's move south on 95 and talk about these Commanders. Apparently, there's a potential sale that's happening with the Commanders. There's been an
Yep.
offer, $6 billion on them. And somehow, the way Magic Johnson is involved, is Magic Johnson involved in every, you know, deal for a sports franchise now? I mean, he already
Yeah,
is
Yep.
a
when you got all
minority
that
owner.
money, when you got all that money. I
He
mean, you
ain't
gotta have
got
a mind.
billions.
Huh? Yeah,
He got
he got
billions.
enough to get a minority owner. He trying to
Yeah.
deduct that tax, man. That tax weighing his backside out.
But I think part of it
You got investors.
he become the face of the deal, and I think that helps. Like with the Dodgers, he was the face of the Dodgers, but I mean he was a minority. He didn't have billions. He probably put a couple of $100 million on, on the deal and got involved. So I think that's interesting. It would be a a, a nice shock to the fan base of the Commanders if they get a new ownership and hopefully they can revive a proud franchise like the Redskins and get that team back on. Because I mean that was one of the NFL's proud franchises, man, and they've gone down the last 20 years, man. It's pretty sad. I used to make fun of them, but now it's just getting to be bad, man. Where this is like, man, this is pretty pathetic.
Yep.
One, they've been trying to keep up with the Cowboys, and then two, everything that they do just blows up in their face. Bring in Carson Wentz. Come on, everybody knew that dude has failed. That he's broken. Why would you bring him in? So I don't know, man. I mean, what do y'all think about this potential sale of the
So
Commanders?
I think right now, and this just me. They already swung big when they went and got a new offensive coordinator, and this coordinator has been proven
Yep.
to win championships.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I think right now they're looking for another big move. And hear me out. I know y'all gonna say I'm talking this Lamar stuff too much,
Oh
but they
God.
got listen. Don't breathe on me. Mute yourself, man. Mute yourself, man. So right now, I think it would make sense for them to make that second big move. So now you can steal a whole nation and make everybody instead of going north 95, because right now the Redskins they're not winning, and you can make everybody go south 95 because Baltimore fumbled, and now they got a new offensive coordinator who's trying to prove himself, and now you got a former MVP that got the taste of blood and vengeance for everybody who didn't want to bet on him.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I just don't
Um,
see I don't see the Commanders making a move, but yeah. What do you got, Phil?
I think, it'd be good to get some new ownership in there. Living in the DMV, I do think they need to do some bring some of the fans back, improve a lot of the fan experience, new stadium, new PR. They got a decent team, but it's just not the same. I think really that name change did hurt them. If they can find a way to get it back to the old name
Well,
Redskins, that'd be great.
well,
Um, Go ahead.
I, I'll just say this, Phil. I don't mean to cut you off. I think whatever is going to happen, they're never going back to Redskins,
You
and
don't
here's
think
why.
so?
Here's why.
Okay.
Because they
Never.
want to put that team back in DC, and DC has already made it known. You ain't bringing that team back here with the Redskins name. So I just want to
Okay.
put that nugget
At
out
all.
there. At all. They want to
But
go back
Phil,
to DC. It ain't
but
happening.
Phil, you and Marvin, and I need both of y'all to explain to me.
Oh,
I'm gonna ask this one question. No, seriously. You keep talking about the Redskins and how they get back to greatness, and you talking about the PR program. How would you do it?
through the draft.
Well, first of all, I mean it's gonna be tough now because the Commanders they just don't have the name recognition. Just gonna have to really get into some of the neighborhoods, get in touch with the fans, and just try to start with the fans on some of this because the Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, have a strong culture, really, really strong
Yeah.
culture. DC team, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough to get it back. They're gonna have to I don't know,
Just say you don't
maybe
have a plan, and just say
negotiate. Maybe
my
I
plan
mean
sounds better.
go back with going back with Marv just said. I don't think I think that was one of the reasons why they wanted to kind of go to Maryland
Mm-hmm.
because maybe Maryland would have took the name, but I think maybe there's some negotiations on the table that where they can change the name back and bring it back to DC, depending on they can really convince them and say, hey, the money that's coming into DC, go back to RFK Stadium, really bring the fans back and bring some fan interaction somehow. So I think they really got to push to try to get that name change. I think they got to start there. You feel like they won't do it. DC
Nope.
won't accept it. I think that's why they were planning to move to Maryland or even going to Virginia. I think that's under the table reason why they were talking about putting a stadium in DC or Virginia. I mean, Maryland or Virginia, because maybe they will take the name. Maybe that's the plan to put the name back.
I think the plan is that's why they changed the name. One, that's why they went from Redskins to
Yes.
Commanders because their intentions is to go back to DC, and they look at that beautiful stadium that the Nationals have, the
Yeah.
beautiful stadium that the DC United has, and all the money that's flowing into DC. Their plans are to go back to DC and probably tear down RFK and build some high quality stadium that matches whatever the Cowboys have because that's just how Redskins, Commanders fans, and owners operate. They're trying to do
Okay.
everything to compete with the Cowboys. Let's get out of this because I mean, I know once we bring up the Final Four, and no matter
Well,
which team we talk about, Don gonna bring up Lamar Jackson some kind of
yep.
way. He gonna make
Yep.
it
Yep.
maybe the San Diego State team should go after
Lamar should have went there.
the AD
I'm
of San Diego
I'm not
State.
amused by your hatred. I'm not amused by your hatred today.
I
I'm
don't
not
understand
amused.
why. I don't understand why the AD at San Diego State didn't put in an offer for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's coming.
So let's talk about that call that they made because that was
Mm,
very controversial, and it's been talked about for the last 3 days. And I'm saying, and I agree with Jay Will, for ESPN and those guys. I've played in games where I saw a referee look at me and say, "Hey, Will," I'm looking at him like, "What?" And he takes his whistle out of his mouth and put it in his pocket
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
because he wants us to decide the game.
yeah,
He
yeah,
said,
Yeah.
and he's saying, "I got a good seat. I'm a fan."
yeah.
And to what everybody would say is that I had coaches that would tell me like, "Hey man, drive the A. When you press up on defense, hand check them a little bit, see how they gonna call a game. You know, play a rough it up a little bit. Hand check a little bit rough, not too obvious, but hand check and glide them a little bit and guide them on the side with the forearm. See if the ref's gonna give you that. Hey, on the rebound, box out hard. See how they call in the game. So sometimes certain people had certain initiatives just to see if we had a big man and hey, feed him down low. Hey, and let's see how the game is called.
But see, I feel like we've had this discussion before, like with the Chiefs Eagles game in the Super Bowl. Was it the right call?
Mhm.
And I have to say it was. It was the right
No,
call.
it's not. So it's not the right call.
Hang
It's not
on.
the right call.
It was the right
If
call.
you no, because during the
He had his
first
hand
listen,
while the dude is shooting the ball. He had his hand on him and pushed him off his block.
it's not a right call because you do not call the game by
I
regulation. You call the game by the temperature that you set from
no,
from the first whistle. And the answer to that is yes.
no, you don't.
Yes. Hold on.
You talking about unwritten rules. You talking about
Okay.
unwritten rules that
Yes,
you
it's an unwritten rule, but it's an
that
understood rule.
officials don't want to decide games. That is true. Officials really don't want to decide games, and
They should
typically
never decide a
and
game.
typically they don't blow the
And
whistle on stuff like that.
you never call the game by
But
the letter of the law.
but to me
Because if you do, you're
as
gonna
a
be
fan,
you're gonna
hang on,
listen.
Don.
If you do, you're gonna be calling whistles the
But
whole game.
but look, Don, if I'm a fan of San Diego State, I'm gonna be pissed if they don't make that call. Because I'm gonna look at it and say, that's a damn foul.
Did they make the same call in the first quarter?
I don't care. They made the call
See,
right there.
once again,
Well,
for you
listen,
not to care, for
listen
you
to
not to understand.
listen to me. That was the right call. And if I'm a San Diego State fan, like I'm a Saints fan, and I watch the damn Rams defender blow a damn receiver off on a pass interference, and they
Is
didn't
that
make
a
the
foul?
call.
And if
And that was
that's a
hang on,
foul,
hang on. Let me finish. And if we're gonna go with your rule and measuring the temperature of the game at the end of the game, you don't want to blow the whistle.
you
That
don't
was
want to
but
blow the
that
whistle.
was a pass
Listen, I
interference,
didn't say
and
that.
then
See,
they
so
held
don't
the
put words
call.
in my mouth.
So
I
if
didn't
it
say that you
let me
didn't want to blow the whistle. I said you.
so it's like, hey, make the right call. And that was an opportunity to make the right call. They made the damn right call. He made the free throw.
It's the
Look,
wrong
you
call.
lost. You lost.
Mark, I'm
Accept
not
it.
saying. Listen, I'm not saying that by. Listen, you're looking at it, and I'm not saying by regulation and by the rule of the
I know
book,
what you're
it's not a
saying.
fail. I'm not saying that. Only thing I'm saying is that you have set the standards in the order of precedence because you did not call that same play a foul in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter
I don't
and
know
the
what
last
happened in
five
the first
minutes.
5 minutes. I don't really care. I'll just know at that critical point in the game, he
You
fouled him.
don't call that. No, you don't call that.
They called it.
If it wasn't egregious,
Look, if
it
you want
wasn't.
if you want to be Donald Trump and rehash what has already happened
I ain't Donald
and
Trump. I'm saying what
it,
the ref did
it,
was
it is
is
over
not
and
the
done.
ordinary
You
of veteran
lost.
of veteran referees.
That's
It's not the ordinary.
respect the call.
It's a bad call. Hey Phil, what's your take on this? Because me and Marv ain't going to agree.
Well, we already know what Phil gonna say.
Well,
I know what he gonna say.
well, tell me what I'm going to say, Mar.
You're gonna agree with me. It was a foul.
Yeah, it was a foul.
It was a
Man,
foul.
listen. Did
It
Phil
was a
watch
foul.
the game? Shit.
No, I did not.
If Phil saw the highlight, and
Yeah,
he
I
thought
saw
it
the
was a
highlight.
foul. It was a foul.
Yeah. I mean, but it's
Period.
good
Listen,
to
you
see.
can't
It's
watch
good
the
to,
you can't watch the highlight and tell me the pulse of a game. So right
Who
now,
cares about the
Phil,
pause?
it's good to see small market teams in the Final Four. Somebody else a chance to win the championship. I mean, we can at least say that.
Yeah, we can say that, and I like the fact that the official made the right damn call. Because yeah,
it's the wrong call.
who are you
If it's
guys
the right
rooting for?
call,
I get frustrated when at the end of the game when teams get screwed over because they don't make the right call. They don't make the call.
Marv.
It was
So
a foul.
so if he didn't call that same call in the first quarter, is there a problem?
I don't care.
No, I asked you a question. Yes
Don't
or no?
care. I know at the end of that game,
If
when
that
that
call
kid,
is not
I
made in
know
the
at the end
first
of the
quarter,
game,
then it's
I
the
know at
wrong
the end of the
call.
game where it is deciding the game and you foul somebody to
The
prevent
first
him from
quarter
winning the
decides the
game.
game as well as
I
the
don't
last
care.
quarter.
That kid had a shot to win the game. He blew past that
The
defender,
first quarter
and
decides the last
he had a
game. I
clear
mean, last
shot at
quarter
that
as well.
basket, and he was pushed off his mark when he
He
shot the
was
ball.
pushed the whole game, and he didn't. And guess what?
Anyway,
They
San
swallowed the
Diego
whistle.
State and your team, Florida Atlantic, are going at it. So we got
Facts.
them going at it, right? I don't know. I'm beginning to fall in love with Florida Atlantic, man. I mean,
Oh boy.
I've counted them out
Somebody want to
every
give me
game.
credit. Somebody want to give me credit. Go ahead.
I'm
Oh
about to give you
boy.
credit. Hey man, you
Oh
called it. You
boy.
called it. Hey man,
Oh
Hey,
boy.
when is contagious? When they was
what you
33
want, a
and
cookie,
3.
man? Yeah, you got it right.
Ain't no
You
cookie.
know,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, hey, tell me I'm right
hey,
and leave it alone.
a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Okay.
Cause I ain't a broken clock. I'm the Don, and the Don got it right. The matter of fact, the
Oh,
guy who's
jeez.
leading the brackets
Somebody give him
in
a
two of
cookie.
his things. Give me 2 cookies then, cause I'm in first and second place.
Good
Holla at your
Lord,
boy.
man.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, anyway, then we got Miami and UConn.
That's gonna be a good game.
That's going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
I think both games are going to be really.
Miami's tough.
Yes, Miami is really tough.
Yeah.
And Connecticut, well, Connecticut is still blue. They're a Bluebird team because they part of the old regime. I think Miami is still a little bit black top open court. They run that ball up and down. I'm leaning towards Florida Atlantic and Miami.
And Miami, I think so too.
Mm.
Because keep in mind, Miami, that's George Mason's old head coach here in Miami. He took them to the
Yep.
Final Four.
Yep.
George
Facts.
Mason. So
Yeah,
this
it'll be
this
wild
dude
if Florida Atlantic wins it all.
this dude is a miracle worker in Miami. So
It-
don't be surprised if Miami goes to the championship game. And yeah, it'll be a dream. I mean, like they've always talked this Cinderella stuff, for years. But this would be amazing to
yeah.
have a team like Miami and Florida Atlantic in the championship game, yo. That
Yeah.
would be tremendous. Yeah,
For the state of Florida too.
yeah, that's true. State of
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens, man. So
Hey, hold on. So we're not going to even talk about the NIL is alive and well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Creating parity in this.
You
You
can
know what I'm
create a
saying?
Yeah.
dynasty overnight.
Yeah.
Well, we should first give a little love to Caitlin Clark from Iowa.
Thank you. I was getting ready
Yeah.
to say let's
Yeah.
give these
Give a
ladies some
little love.
love.
Give
Give some
her some
love.
love.
Yes, sir.
And
When she
the
dropped
Hey,
41
yeah.
41 triple double.
against
At
Louisville.
first, and not only that, but she was the first to drop 40-point triple double in NCAA history throughout the tournament. She's having 30 points, 5.8 rebounds, and also 11 assists. And also, she's shooting a whopping 51% from the field for the season, and also during the tournament,
Crazy.
48. Man, she's on electric and she's on fire.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, she's not by herself. She got Marshall along with, who's actually dropped, 46 3-point attempts, throughout the postseason. And she got a big, she got sharpshooters shooting
Yeah.
71%. And
Dude.
also she got, another backup, that's actually one of her starters, 14, 12, and 17 in the past 3 games. They're electrifying, man. And also, people did not know that they're the highest scoring team in the country.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep.
But
Dude,
they
dude,
gotta go. But here's the downside. For everything they do offensively, they're terrible on defense.
but hey man, but look,
And
Yeah.
and, and, and
that's what
then
it's about. You got to
that goes to
outscore 'em.
South Carolina. South Carolina right now, they're looking to be, they allowed the fewest points in the league
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Well, this is South Carolina's tournament,
I mean,
so
yes, South Carolina.
we all know who's winning this tournament.
Oh yeah,
I
we
would
know
I
who's
wouldn't
gonna win
say
it.
that. I
Well,
wouldn't say that.
hey man, come on, Dawn is best coach in college
She not playing
women's
around.
basketball, man. Come on,
Well,
man.
She ain't doing no shot attempts.
I don't care.
Gino is still better than her right now.
But I don't know. I don't know about right now.
What?
I don't.
I
We
wouldn't.
talking
I'm not
right
giving.
now.
I'm not giving Gino. And here's the thing: the NIL is going to keep bringing her raw talent. South Carolina
But she
is
was
going to
doing this
be
before
yes,
NLF.
and
Let
that's
me
why I
see.
said she was doing it before. So do you think the rich is not going to keep getting richer?
Yeah, she gonna Dawn Staley knows what she's doing, baby. And I
Yeah,
love the fact that she's getting the love that she deserved. I see her doing her own commercials now. So, hey, you got to give these
yeah,
ladies some love, man.
that's true.
And hey, look, man, you got to give my hometown some love too, man. LSU is in that Final Four. Angel Reese is doing her thing. Look, I watched a little bit of that game against Miami. That was a terrible game to watch. But hey, you know what? Hey, it's not how you win the game. It's the fact that you win the game. They're in the Final Four going up against the Virginia Tech. So
She's
I like.
electrifying.
Yes, she is. I like the Lady Tigers. So I think they're gonna get this win and get in that championship game. But like you said, Iowa's defense is questionable, and we know South
Man.
Carolina plays defense.
Yeah, but when you look at LSU, as you just talked about Reese, man, she set a record for 32 double doubles,
Oh yeah,
and she got that going 22 in the last thing. But at the same time, LSU has struggled to reach 70 points in the last, since
yeah,
the
they're struggling
season
to score,
opener. So, but
but
let's
they
go
play
talk about
defense.
let's talk about Virginia Tech and the Hokies, man. I mean, right now, the young lady Elizabeth, she's actually got double doubles, 25 and 12. You know,
Hey, no, I
those
feel
those
you.
are not cupcake numbers right there.
No, I feel you. And then look, my decision on saying that the Tigers are going to be in the championship, that hey man, that's feelings over facts, and I
Hmm.
Yep.
admit that. So
Yep.
And then they got the young lady in Morris, since the start of the ACC tournament, she's the most outstanding player. She dropped 23 points and 3 assists, and also been shooting 40% from 3-point line.
mm,
Those
yeah, man,
monster numbers.
yeah, man.
It's gonna be an offensive battle. I want to see if South Carolina defense can deal with that high potent offense. And then when you're looking at LSU and looking at the Hokies, I want to see which scores are going to be able to have their dominance. Because like I said before, LSU, they've struggled even though they have a high scoring individual in their team, but are they going to be able to feed that machine? And as
Hmm.
well as are the Hokies going to let Elizabeth get off and do what she needs to do in order to make sure that they prevail to the next level.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. So right now the women's championship game will be on April 2nd. The men will be on the 3rd, and we'll see who pulls it off. I mean, either way, they're both Final Fours are going to be great, and the men's Final Four is going to be great with the women's. And I can't wait to see the championship game for both because I'm gonna be in it, yo. It's
I
gonna be
want to
good
say
stuff.
also, I had read something that Virginia Tech's head basketball coach, he is the first African American head coach to make it to the Final Four for women.
Wow.
First African American man,
Yeah.
Yeah,
male. Okay,
coach,
because I was getting ready to say,
coaching,
what is Dawn
coaching
Staley?
women.
Okay,
Well, men, yeah, coaching women.
coaching
Yeah, men.
women. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you. All right, I was
yep,
getting ready to
yep,
say, huh?
yep,
That's kind of unbelievable. I mean, I
yeah,
never really thought about that, but yeah.
yep, yep.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on, and this kind of been the thing that I didn't want to talk about, but I guess we got to talk about it. My Pelicans had a big game against the Warriors last night and had a big lead.
Lethal Weapon 3. Lethal Weapon 3.
Hey man, look. That's one thing I can say, man, about the NBA. If you got a superstar, they can just nullify anything that you're doing. My Pelicans had a 20-point lead on those Warriors. They had a 17-point lead at halftime. Crush them.
Yep.
And Steph took over. Steph and Clay took over. And I mean
And
that was
Poole.
and
Lethal
put
Weapon 3.
but no, Steph was doing some magnificent stuff. I mean, the pass that he threw to Clay when he was trapped, basically at a bad angle near the basket, and he swung that ball with his left hand to the other end of the court at the back end of the 3-point line to a wide open Clay Thompson, and he drilled that three. I was like, yo. It reminded me of when the Pelicans played the Warriors in the playoff game years ago, and Anthony Davis was there, and he swept us. And there was one game we had a big lead on them, and Steph took over. That's just superstar, man. That's just what happens when you got a superstar on your team that could just take over. And Don, you can take that smirk off your damn face, man. Because look, you know, you got the win, dude. It might
What
propel you out of that the play-in game, and you'll be sitting there waiting to see who wins in the play-in game. Because I think it was a big game last night.
what are
Hey,
the
but hey,
Pelicans going to do about Zion? What's going on there?
Well, I think
Ooh. Hey,
last I
hey, hey,
heard,
Joe Rich
he
called him hold on. He called him Zion Odom.
man, ain't nobody worried about what Joe Rich said, considering he got Mr. Glass on his team. Because we all know at some point Anthony Davis going down with an ankle injury. He might as well get his few games in now, and eventually he going down with an ankle injury. Ain't worry about him. Zion on his way back. So that's what I've
So
been hearing. He's still on his way back. They hopefully to get him for the playoffs.
he ain't got a date set to him. Because right now you're in the same purgatory that we are in. Because right now we don't even know if Wiggins is coming back. So y'all gonna go as far as Zion,
Well,
and Golden State gonna go far as Poole. I mean,
well,
far as Wiggins.
whoa. Wiggins got a different situation.
Yeah, no, no. So right now we're tracking that he'll be back for the playoffs.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't hear that, but
And
yes,
not only that, Gary Payton played last night,
yep,
and yeah,
yep. I
causing
saw that.
turnovers. Yeah.
Well, I hear that that Zion is working out with the team and stuff like that. So there are plans for him to come back. So I think once Zion comes back, he should put us over the top. But it might be too late. It might
Yeah.
get stuck in that damn play-in game.
Yeah.
Okay, so hey, I'm glad you talked about this because let's talk about the standings. And to me, the top is not the top is what it is. You got Denver. They've been at the top all season. You got
Yep.
Memphis and you got the Kings. So they're gonna be where they're gonna be. Right now, the Suns, Kevin Durant, he just came back tonight, so we'll see how
Oh
he's
yeah, that's
doing.
right.
You got the
Yep.
Clippers. We
Yep.
just got to see if PG is actually really hurt, and is he gonna come back, and then can Kawhi carry that load, even though he's not gonna be doing load management during the playoffs, and at the same time, Golden State. But when you look at the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Thunder, and the Dallas Mavericks, man, let's talk about it. So you got the Lakers, and they got
Um,
Chicago, Minnesota, Houston, Utah,
yeah,
the
they just beat
Clippers,
Chicago.
Phoenix. So right now I had them. Hey, listen, I had them beating Chicago, but in them 7 games, I got them going 4-3
Mm,
because I got them losing to Minnesota tomorrow, and then I
yep.
got them losing to the Clippers on the 5th, and
Mm.
then
The best team in LA.
yeah, and then yeah, best team in LA. And then on top of that, I got them losing to Phoenix. So that's 3 losses. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's gonna be enough.
Mm.
But now let's go ahead and move down the lane because let's look at your Pelicans. Because your Pelicans, they got Denver. They're gonna lose that tonight.
Whoa.
I mean tomorrow.
Tomorrow, but they're not losing that. Come on, watch him out.
Hey, the Joker's not playing because the Joker's gonna try to beat the beat out for that MVP. I'm sorry, Marvin, but it is what it is. You're talking about the 3-time MVP, unless somebody shakes it up. But right now, then all of a sudden you got you play, man, you got it terrible. You got Denver, the Clippers, and then the Kings, and then Memphis.
We
Those are
got this.
four losses. Then you
Whoa.
jump, hold on. Then you jump and play New York, the Knicks, with Randall, who has something to prove. That's a loss. And then you play Minnesota, who's fighting, and I'm kind of desperate, but I gave you that win. I got you going 1-5 out of your 6 games.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
So
amazing.
hold on.
Before the loss to the Warriors, we're on a 5-game winning streak.
Okay,
We're gonna start it up again.
Denver, Clippers, Kings, Memphis, New York, and then Minnesota. Man, that sounds like 1-5 to me, boss.
Dude, we already beat the Clippers. Beat the
Wow.
Clippers by 21. Just beat them
I'm Ray Charles.
3 weeks ago.
I'm Ray
Three
Charles. I don't
games
see it.
ago.
Ray Charles, I don't see it happening.
I
Wow.
know you don't see it.
Wow.
They beat the
Okay,
Clippers already.
even if you beat the Clippers, you're not gonna beat the Knicks and
And
Minnesota
and LA beat the Clippers. So, hey, I ain't
in
worried about the
Minnesota.
Clippers.
Look, in Minnesota. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, I'm
in
gonna change
Minnesota.
that. I got you losing that, so it's still 1-4.
I
Dude,
actually
Be
think
1-5.
Dallas is falling. So actually, the Pelicans,
Okay,
the
hold on,
Pelicans, the Pelicans might be in there. They might
you
make
yeah.
want
that
to talk
play.
about Dallas? So hold on. Dallas plays 76ers. They played them
That's a
tonight.
loss.
I got them losing that. They play
He said it's a
Miami.
loss.
Hold on.
That's a loss.
They
They got
already
playing
lost the game.
Miami.
You talking
Listen,
about that's a loss. They
listen.
already lost.
I got them playing Miami.
That's a loss.
I know I got them beating Miami. I got them beating the Atlanta Hawks. I got them
Maybe
losing. I got them losing to the Kings. I got them beating
loss.
Chicago, and I got
They'll
them
beat
beating the
Chicago.
Spurs. And I got them beating the
They'll
Spurs.
they'll beat the Spurs. So that's 2 and
So
3. 2
no,
and 4.
it's not.
2
No,
and 4.
that's 4-2. Because the
Okay.
only teams I got them lose to is the Kings and they lost tonight. So that's 4-2.
Okay.
They'll lose to you said the second team.
Miami.
They'll lose to Miami.
No.
Miami
But
plays defense.
Okay, but right now, okay, let's say even if they do, that's an even 300. So they're gonna stay status quo. Because here's the other part. Here's the other part. You looking at looking at the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves they play Phoenix.
That's
They
a
play
loss.
Los Angeles. I got them beat. I got them beating the Lakers.
They'll beat the Lakers.
And then they play Portland. I got them beating Portland.
See, see,
I
see,
got them playing Brooklyn. Then
see
they
this,
play the Spurs. And then like I said before, they play New Orleans Pelicans. I got them going 5-1.
this is my whole point on why you don't need a damn play-in game. We got the play-in game right here. You making my damn point. You know,
Hold on. Hey,
this
Bob,
is why it's so
hold on.
stupid to have a play-in
Let me
game
break
because
that. Let me
these
hurt your heart
last 7
and
games,
break down the
these
Golden
last
State
10
Warriors.
games is the play-in game.
Yes,
Now we got to play a
let me
damn
break
game on
let
top
me
of this
break down the Golden
foolishness.
State Warriors. So the Golden State Warriors, they won last night. We play San Antonio on Friday. We're gonna win that
It's
one.
a participation, Marv.
So we're gonna play against Denver. I got them. I got us, probably losing against Denver. But we play OKC. I got us beating OKC. I got us beating Sacramento, and I got us beating Portland. So I got us going 4-1. So I got us, still staying status quo in the 6. I got you probably moving out and getting bumped. I got the Lakers. The Lakers are tough because I mean they going 4-3. But
Man,
depending on what OKC does and what Dallas does, I don't know if you're gonna make the playoffs, Marv. I mean the play in. I'll pause.
what you got in the Eastern Conference, man? Look like the Eastern Conference pretty much locked up with
Set.
their
Yeah,
four
The,
teams.
the Eastern Conference is locked up. I mean, they're top heavy. I mean, right now you got Milwaukee, you got Boston, you got 76ers, you got Cleveland, and then you
Yeah.
got the New York. It's crazy that Brooklyn is pulling in the 6th seed. I think Miami's gonna probably edge them out, depending on how their
Shit,
schedule looks at
Miami's on
the
a
end.
3-game losing streak, man.
Yeah, but I
They
think
falling apart.
I know they're falling apart, but I think they'll get it together. I think they have championship DNA and also they got, good coaching. So I think they know how to pull it in down the stretch. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. Hats off to my guy that came from the Lakers, old little Patrick Beverly. He has willed the
For
Bulls.
the Bulls, yeah.
Man, he has willed the Bulls to actually doing something that's interesting. I really want to see they're going to make the play in. Washington's been playing pretty tough. They're on the wing and the prayer, but that's where we lay right now. I got the Hawks right now. They have too much
Man, y'all killing me with this
disunity.
stuff about the Bulls. Man, the Bulls on a 2-game losing streak. Man, nobody worry about the Bulls. The Bulls
All
ain't
right,
making it. Dude, they might make the play-in game, but they ain't gonna do jack in it. Everybody worry about the Bulls, man.
but
Anyway,
as they move through the playoffs, I mean they top end heavy. Like I said, you got Cleveland, Philly, Boston, and Milwaukee. I really want to see if Boston is really going to try to make a run for the top seed because remember, Milwaukee shut down too early last year. They was in the same predicament, and guess what? They had to play Game 7 in Boston, and I think that was the deciding factor because they weren't the number 1 seed.
well, we'll see. We'll see, man. It'll be a fight to the finish. And like I said, this is the play-in game. This is what I love about the end of the season. But hey, we're gonna have to add an extra 2 games to that foolishness. But anyway, look, let's wrap this thing up, fellas. Great show, man. Appreciate you guys. To our listeners out there, man, we do this thing every week. We'll see y'all next week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.